Hi, friends. I'm so excited for this read aloud. Today, we are going to read a story about collaboration. The title of the story is Harlem Grown. And this is a true story about a neighborhood in New York City. As we're listening to this story, I want you to think about how this community showed collaboration. Harlem Grown: How One Big Idea Transformed a Neighborhood. Written by Tony Hillery. Harlem Grown: How One Big Idea Transformed a Neighborhood. Written by Tony Hillery, illustrated by Jesse Hartland. Once in a big city called New York, in a bustling neighborhood called Harlem, there was an empty lot. Nevaeh called it the haunted garden. It was cluttered with wrecked couches, old TVs, broken bottles, and empty cans. Once in a big city, in a bustling neighborhood, there was Nevaeh's school. PS 175, it was called, and it sat across from the haunted garden. One day, a man came to PS 175. Mr. Tony, the kids called him. When Mr. Tony saw those kids and that haunted garden, he had an idea. He began to clear the haunted garden, one piece of trash at a time. Soon it was a clean slate, a blank canvas. Mr. Tony laid down new, clean soil. He invited Nevaeh to help. It says pure organic fertilizer, seeds, shovels, mulch. Looks like there's lots of different kinds of seeds. Organic topsoil. This looks like it's a watering hose. Nevaeh started to plant. It says how to start a seedling. She's putting in the seed, covering it up with topsoil, adding water, making sure it's in the sun. Then she dug holes in the ground. Into the holes, she placed her seedlings, and then she carefully covered them with dirt. Her friends came too. 400 seedlings went into the ground, one for each kid. It's a lot of kids working together to plant those seedlings. It says basil, mint, cilantro, rosemary. Then the kids watered and weeded, and their plants began to grow. Once, when Nevaeh came to the lot after school, her plant was wilted and sad. "We'll try again," said Mr. Tony. "We'll plant something different." Wood, hammer, nails. Mr. Tony built raised beds for the plants. The kids tried again. Peas and broccoli, mint and eggplants. They watered and weeded. And at last, food. Tomatoes, cucumbers, blueberries, strawberries, collard greens, kale, basil, arugula. Mr. Tony watched and helped and smiled. More kids came from the neighborhood. They tended their plants, which grew and grew. Up came more fruits and vegetables. The kids took their green beans and carrots and cucumbers home to their families for dinner. Once, in a big city called New York, in a bustling neighborhood called Harlem, there was a man with an idea. There were kids who wanted to help, and they made a farm. It says, "Dear reader, first things first, there's something I want you all to know. I am no garden expert. I'll even let you in on a secret. I have killed more plants than I have been able to grow. I knew nothing about what it takes to grow a simple plant, let alone start an entire farm. But I saw a problem I wanted to fix. In 2010, I closed my company when the economy took a turn. I began to volunteer at PS 175 in Harlem. Like many in Harlem, the underfunded school had no art or gym classes. At lunchtime, the students had so much pent up energy that they would often find themselves in trouble. The blocks around PS 175 are host to 55 fast food restaurants and 29 pharmacies, but not a single store from which to purchase healthy food. When I noticed the vacant lot across from the school, I had the idea to begin Harlem Grown. Now, they're now the kids and their parents, with the support of the Harlem Grown staff, grow thousands of pounds of fruits and vegetables a year, which they give to their neighbors and community free of charge. After school and on weekends, local kids flock to the garden to tend to their vegetables and fruits. Incidents in the cafeteria decreased dramatically because the farm encourages collaboration and patience. I realized that many of these students growing up in the concrete jungle didn't know where vegetables came from until they were introduced to Harlem Grown farms. Now they happily eat fresh vegetables because they're pleased to have grown them themselves. Originally, the garden plot on 134th Street, now Urban Farms has expanded to 12 sites across Harlem. It employs 22 full-time staff members who provide administrative support, additional crop maintenance, and go into schools to teach nutrition and sustainability, and most importantly, mentor children daily. At Harlem Grown, the mentors are all young men and women from the community, and they work hard to teach and inspire the kids about healthy eating while also studying hard to complete their education. The little patch where it all began still exists, and every summer the sweetest strawberries in all of New York City grow and are eaten by the children who tend to their urban farm. Sincerely, Tony Hillery, founder and director of Harlem Grown. He's also the author of the story. Here's a picture of Tony Hillery. So, friends, I want you to think about the story of Harlem Grown. This is a true life, real story that happened just 10 years ago in New York City. How does the story remind you of collaboration? Can you make a connection to the story? What connections can you make? When have you collaborated? See you next time, friends.